Time for Money Tuesday. Now, when you consider someone to be wealthy, what numbers come to mind? Well, it turns out the pandemic has actually reshaped what people believe being wealthy means. So this morning we're on your side with how much wealth does one actually need. Stewart Welsh from the Welsh Group joins us now with the difference between what we want and what we need. Good to see you this morning, Stewart.
Good morning, Mike.
And I know part of this is based on surveys after what people have gone through in the pandemic. Give us a little quick perspective of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, so this is Charles Schwab just completed a study of 1,000 Americans, and they really asked the question, how much money does it take to be wealthy, can be considered wealthy? And they came up with 1.6 million, and that's actually down from 2.6 million. I'm sorry, it's 1.9 million, down from 2.6 million pre-pandemic. So I think one of the things that people learned was that they could live on less, and it didn't take quite as much wealth as they thought it did. And, you know, surveys are great, but let's talk about what does it need for you to be wealthy? What's kind of your number?
Yeah, because when we talk about real numbers, obviously wealth can mean different things to different people. So dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, so I think most people's wealth is really driven by their income. So you've got a paycheck, that paycheck, you use that to drive your lifestyle. So this is just a starting point, a place to start the conversation. But let's take your annual income and we're going to multiply that times 20. So if your annual income is $50,000 a year, you multiply that times 20, that's $1 million. That's your number. So if you lost that job or if you retired, let's say you lost that job and you had $1 million, you could pretty safely, if it's invested properly, you could pretty safely withdraw $50,000 a year from that, and it literally would leave you some room to adjust for inflation on an annual basis. And so that's kind of your starting number, but then you actually get to make an adjustment. And an adjustment might be like Social Security. So you're going to adjust for a pension, something that's permanent, a pension or Social Security. And let's just, as an example, let's say your Social Security was $10,000 a year. You would actually multiply that times 20. That would give you 200. And you'd subtract the 200 from $1 million, and that gives you your adjusted number of $800,000. So that is your number.
So you're looking at somebody positioning themselves in a position to, if they do things the right way, they can still be wealthy, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so they can continue to have the lifestyle that they've created for themselves through their earnings. And I think it's complicated. Some people have the ability to do this, but if you don't, you want to get help, you can go to cfp.net and find a certified financial planner who's right there close to you.
All right, so good advice there, Stewart Welsh. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, and as Warren Buffett said,